Okay, today we're looking at topic 15.2, triangles. And so first let's go ahead and go over the way that we can classify triangles. And you can classify triangles by their lengths of their sides and also by the sizes of their angles. So there's two different ways you can classify a triangle. So first let's look at classifying by the angles. And if all angles are less than 90 degrees, and we have 60, 60, 60, we call that triangle an acute triangle. Oh, it's so cute. It's little, right? The angles are little, less than 90. If one angle, and it only needs one, if one of the angles in the triangle is a right angle and it's designated by this little square, then it is a right triangle. It has one right angle. And then finally, another way to classify by the last way to classify by the angles is obtuse, and it only needs one, again, one obtuse angle. So again, an obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. So right angle, I should have put that on here, is 90 degrees. So acute is less than 90, right is 90, and obtuse is greater than 90. So just making you aware of that. So if any angle is greater than 90 degrees, it's considered obtuse. Okay? Okay, so then we can also classify triangles by their sides. We have the equilateral triangle, and that means that all sides are the same length. Okay, just like we talked about a regular polygon, this would be an equilateral triangle. All sides are the same length. Okay, an isosceles triangle has two sides the same length. So 1, 2. These two are the same length. This one is not. And a scalene triangle has no sides the same length. And so now let's look at some of the triangles, and we're going to use these terms to help us classify. So scrolling down. So first we're going to classify by its sides, and then we'll classify by the angles. So let's look at this one. Well, we have 8, 8, and 14. So if we look at that, well, we have two sides of the same. So what do we call that? Isosceles. Whoops. I'm going to close that. I'm going to zoom back. I'm going to zoom back in just a bit. And then I'm going to make sure I have it. Okay, so that is an isosceles triangle. Okay, now let's look at the angles. We have two angles that are 26 degrees and one that's 128 degrees. And we would call that, well, we have one angle that's greater than 90, so it's obtuse. So that triangle is isosceles and it is obtuse. Oops, and let's make sure we spell it correctly. Okay, the next one. Well, let's look at the lengths of the sides. We have 5, 4, and 3. So no sides are the same length. So if we look at that, which one would that be? It is scalene. No sides the same length. So that one is scalene. And then we have one right angle designated by the square. So we know that that is going to be a right triangle. Okay, this one here, we have 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet. So all sides are the same. So we call that an equilateral triangle. And then we have 3 angles, 60, 60, and 60. And, well, all angles are less than 90 degrees. So we would call that acute. Okay, so now they're just giving you the degrees because you can tell, you don't actually need to see the angles to know what kind of triangle it is. Well, we have 140 degree and 40 degrees. Those are acute, but we have 100 degrees. And we know that anything greater than 90 is obtuse. And if it has one obtuse angle, the triangle is obtuse. We have 14 degrees, 98 degrees, and 68 degrees. Again, all of our angles, well, we have this one 98. Is that greater than 90? Yeah, so that would be obtuse. And then we have 38 degrees, 38 degrees, and 104 degrees. And so we know that one of them is greater than 90, so we would say that it is obtuse. Now that's funny that all of those were obtuse, but just to point out that you can use the angles itself to classify the triangles. Okay, I'm going to stop now and then I'll come back again to do the second page of this assignment.